Equal.
So I've been motivated a lot by my bosses, and of recent is my small family. I think any man would know that the moment you start bringing people into the world, you are automatically driven by that.
Yeah. We have Desmond Nikanor, is an experienced specialist with a demonstrated history of working in progressive and specialized human capital space across a number of industries, both as a consultant and as a corporate professional, skilled in strategic planning, organization development, human reform and reward incentive modeling, a certified balance scored BSP professional with a Masters of Science focused in international business from the University of London, and a Bachelor of Science in Organizational Psychology from the University of Cape Town. He is here to tell us more about his career and his journey so far. Good morning, Kata. How are you?
No, I'm good. I'm doing well. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Lovely. Are you a morning person?
I am. Of late, I've took young kids, so you have to be a morning person.
So
you have no choice.
What time do they wake you up?
5:45 daily.
Daily on a daily. Even on the weekends?
No, weekend is my own time.
Okay.
So yeah, that's an 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Okay, great. So let's dive right into. Tell us about your childhood and where you were raised and how that contributed to the person that you are today.
All right. No, thank you. I grew up in a very small town in the south, in Oraniemund, where my parents literally worked for I see Namdeb was your sponsor.
Yeah.
They worked for Namdeb
Okay.
when it was CDM days.
You noticed?
Yes, I heard you in your introduction. For 30-something years, for as long as I've been alive, they worked at Namdeb. And so I was born in that context.
Okay.
In a very small, tight-knit family of five children. Very, let me say, plain, humble family, sensitive people, down-to-earth people. And that's really where I grew up.
Were you the problem child in the family?
To be honest, we don't have one.
Oh, okay. Everyone is chill.
Everybody just is running their race, is doing their thing.
That's beautiful. Can you describe your role as a senior manager, HR and strategy at NDTC?
All right. So I think to explain the role, it's best perhaps I explain the industry and then the business a bit.
Yes,
because my role fits into that context.
Nice.
So we know I work within the diamond industry. And I think we all know that that's an industry that is highly important to the country. Not only to the country, but to people. If you think of every anniversary, every wedding, every childbirth, there's always a diamond at play somewhere there.
Yeah.
So it's a highly important and an emotive industry. And within that industry, I work for the NDTC. So most people are familiar with Namdeb and with De Beers Marine, who are tasked with taking these diamonds out of the earth.
The extraction
The extraction part.
Okay.
But what most people don't know is that these diamonds, or the goods as we call them, are given over to the NDTC.
Okay.
And the NDTC sorts them, they value them, they assess the value, and they sell it on to the clients. So it's important to understand that, to understand my role, because my role is a senior manager for human resources. And the human resources that you find there are highly specialized people.
Whoa.
Who basically work with a few $100,000
A
few $100,000. Even it took me a while to get that around my head.
Yeah.
And what they do is they look at a diamond of which there's never one or two of the same. And they use never. Every diamond is absolutely unique.
Wow.
And they use their experience, their gifting, and their talent to look at a diamond and determine a value for it. And you have these people who've worked there for decades, much like my parents.
Yeah.
And it's such a niche skill. It's almost like an art. And my role really is to steward those people.
Wow.
Is to steward that skill, because it's not something you get up and you do. It takes around 10 years to become proficient in it. Yeah, and Namibia has some of the most desirable diamonds in the world.
Yeah.
And not only that, it has some of the most skilled diamond sorters and evaluators in the world. So my role really is around that human capital, that human resources, making sure that their work environment, their jobs, that they are motivated, that they are incentivized, that the climate of the organization is correct, that the culture is conducive for them to do what they need to do. Because ultimately the NDTC relies on the skill of those people. And that's really the privilege I have to serve in that area.
Wow. We're going to take a short break and we're going to be getting back and we'll be asking Desmond more on what motivates him. Coming up is Matrix All Over. 99 FM, your inspiration station. We're still chatting to Desmond, Senior Manager in HR Strategy at NDTC. Good sir, when we just left, we were speaking about what motivates you on a daily basis.
It may be strange to explain, but I have this internal GPS.
Okay.
I like to call it like that. It's not a map, it's a compass, really.
Okay.
When very early I started to find out what is my purpose. And when I started to discover it and it unfolded with time, I'm basically motivated by my purpose. I'm motivated by what it is that I need to do, and in doing that excellently, well, diligently, doesn't matter what it is, whether it's driving here this morning or doing a big project for a big employer. I really don't mind the size. I'm motivated by excellence and by purpose.
By excellence and purpose and the internal compass that guides you. We're speaking about your role earlier at NDTC and how you incorporate that and navigate that. I myself personally, I'm not sure if I've ever seen a diamond before apart from on a ring, but like a raw one just lying there. Many I've bumped into people who say, "Oh no, Mooks, this is a diamond," but I'm not sure if it's they could look like a stone, a white stone, but you get to see diamonds on a regular basis. Can you just walk us through the feelings, the emotions? How many do you see on a regular day? Do you get to touch them?
Yeah, it's fascinating. Like I said, I grew up in a mining town. So for the past 37 years of my life, I've always been around diamonds. But it is only as of 3 weeks ago that
Quite recently.
Yeah, just 3 weeks ago that I actually began to see diamonds en masse. And so the NDTC receives a lot of consignment or goods of diamonds on a weekly basis. And basically, if you had to see them, they look oddly ordinary. Yeah, what you see is normally the polished version, but the inherent value that they spread out on the table is actually quite something to see. We have no idea how much of time and pressure and distance, in fact. Many of the diamonds were birthed in South Africa and they run with the Orange River. Yes, and that's why our diamonds are in Oranjemund and out in the ocean. It's because they are deposited out after, they say, billions of years, making Namibian diamonds actually the most desirable in the world.
A diamond can take so many years of pressure to form?
It takes a few billion or 100 million years.
No joke.
Yes, and it rolls down hundreds of thousands of kilometers in a river, and it embeds itself in the sea. And
this is what gives it value.
And this is what gives it value. It is indestructible. It is unique. It is precious. It is finite. Yeah. It's an amazing product. And what makes it most precious is that we had nothing to do with it.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, we had nothing to do with it.
That's a beautiful
apart
way
from
to
just
put
being Namibia. It's just really God's blessing to us.
Nice.
Yeah.
Because of time, what are some of the early influences you've had along the way?
I've been influenced. I went to hostel very early when I was 13. I had to go to hostel, and so I was independent for a very long time. So my early influences have always been whoever is leading me at the time. And just to make it clear, I've been equally influenced by, I've had some very bad bosses, very bad leaders, not bad people. I'm not saying bad people. Bad bosses and good bosses equally. So I've been motivated a lot by my bosses, and of recent is my small family. I think any man would know that the moment you start bringing people into the world, you are automatically driven by that. So it's a combination of that. I'm also mentored by a gentleman called Dr. Miles Monroe. Which
aren't all of us?
We know all of us. I've never met him at all. But he mentors me. So that combination of good experience, bad leaders, bad lecturers, good lecturers, all of that has shaped what I am.
To conclude, my good sir, any career advice you would like to share to our listeners? Any last words you would like to share with them?
Yeah, I think I can because I think my story is the only thing extraordinary about me is how extraordinary I am.
Come on.
I have no inherent talents. I'm not a student, anything, but What I did learn early on in my career is to focus on the inputs and not so much the outputs.
Yeah.
So I don't really, of course, I've always strived to progress in my career and my studies, but I don't make that the focus. So my advice would be focus on the inputs. Of course, we all want promotions and elevation, but sometimes we don't have control over that. We all want good bosses. Sometimes we don't have control over that. Good leaders, good lecturers. Sometimes we don't have control over that. Stick to what's in your control. Stick to being on time. Stick to whatever you're doing it excellently, irrespective of your outside environment, and let the output deal with itself. And I found over time that it always does, 100% of the time.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Desmond, for coming through. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Control what you can control and leave the rest.
That was 99 FM's Royal Hustlers.
Proudly brought to you by Namdeb Diamond Corporation.